So I started wrestling when I was a junior in high school. So I waited a little bit longer than everybody else to get started. And in one of the first tournaments, I was in the championship match. And as I was in the championship match, I find myself in kind of a stalled position where I had a gentleman in a side headlock, but I couldn't really move or do anything. And because I was just starting out. And as I had this gentleman in a headlock, and I was pretty strong for my size, is I just kind of sat there and just kept squeezing and squeezing because I didn't know what to do. But I wore myself out. And I got so tired that you could tell in the match that I was gassed. Now, I still pushed and made it to the end. But somebody told me something that was pretty unique that stuck with me to this day. He said, you know what? Wrestling is kind of like running. When you first start running, it's very painful. If you don't run, to run a block is exhausting. But soon, if you just kind of keep at it and you're persistent, soon, running, you can run a couple miles, but then you could run and never get tired. It's this kind of way of conditioning your body. And so wrestling was the metaphor that, as you keep going and the more you push yourself and the more you get to the full 6-minute matches and you get more practices under your belt and more of these tournaments under your belt, that you'll be able to wrestle forever without any breaks, you'll condition yourself. And, those runners out there understand that, to be a great runner, you run a block and then maybe 2 blocks and then 3 blocks and then maybe you're running a mile and then maybe you do 1.5 miles and 2 miles. And then even a few years ago when I was running just a couple miles or 3 miles, and then I knew I could easily run 8 to 10 miles once or twice a week. Now, I didn't run in between 3 and 8 miles. At the time, I never ran 4 miles. I never ran 5. I never ran 6 or 7. I always ran about 3 miles 5 times a week, and then once or twice, I was like, let's just go further, and it was easy to run 8 miles. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is you need to condition yourself. You need to condition yourself for success. We need to condition ourselves for concentration. If you don't like to read, it's because you haven't built the neurology to have the endurance to read. Most people get bored after 1 page, or some people say they fall asleep. Well, you know what? Read 1 page, then read 2 pages, then 3 pages, then 5, then 10 pages. Maybe you wanted to write a book. Well, I can't write a book. Well, you know what? Write 1 page, and then the next day try to write 2 pages, and then the next day write 3, and then all of a sudden you have a book written. I wrote my first book in 72 hours, and now I have different strategies on how to write a book, but it's because I sat down that first time and persisted to get it done. And so if you just keep persisting, you got to build your neurology. And the only way you build your neurology is with deep focus and deep practice and sticking to it. So just like back in wrestling, it was really, you have to do it. You have to push yourself to your threshold and then just keep pushing beyond. And that's how you have success, and that's how you condition yourself for whatever success means to you. Success could be, you want to get in better shape. Success could be that you want to read more. Success could be, anything that you want to put your mind to, and it starts with conditioning yourself. And so just like any athlete conditions themselves, you have to condition your mind for whatever you want to have success in.